Lawmakers in Michigan are pushing for a religious freedom law, even though they don't necessarily need it, and some are questioning why they are pushing for it so aggressively. Well, this law would basically state that if a company or if a particular individual, a small business, has sincerely held religious beliefs, they're able to get away with certain things that the average citizen wouldn't get away with. For instance, if you own a cake shop and you come to a situation where there's a gay couple that wants to buy a cake from you for a wedding, you can turn them down under a law like this. You would be able to discriminate against them under a law like this, right?
How long are we going to, in this country, talk about the fucking cake shops? I mean, that's
I know.
always the example. What about the cake shops who don't want to make a cake for the gays? Literally, this is supposed to be the 8th story about the fucking gay-hating cake shops. You're a cake shop. You have to deal with gay people. You make cakes.
I mean, I think you guys already know where we stand on this. But let me tell you exactly what this piece of legislation would do. Now, the Senate is likely to pass it. The members of the House in Michigan have already passed it. Keep in mind that the Senate is very, very right-wing, so they're likely to pass it. It's all disaster.
Yeah, it's now anyway. The House in Michigan is now Republican.
Yes. Okay, so let me give you the details. Opponents say otherwise. So the person who has authored this legislation is House Speaker Jace Bolger. And opponents say that while Bolger claims, no, this has nothing to do with discrimination, Bolger insists the bill is meant to protect, say, the Muslim butcher who wants to prepare food in line with halal practices, or the Jewish mother who doesn't want an autopsy performed on her son. Civil liberties advocates warn that it could be used as a defense for the landlord who wants to evict a gay tenant, or a pharmacist who doesn't want to provide birth control, all because of, quote, sincerely held religious beliefs. Here's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of people using religion as an excuse to push their anti-gay, anti-woman, anti-whatever agenda. You can't hide behind religion in order to discriminate against certain groups of people. We live in America, right? Gay rights is not just a gay rights issue. To me, it's a civil rights issue. It's something that people are born with, and you're not going to live in a country that's going to allow you to discriminate against them just because you believe your religion allows you to discriminate against them. You're right, Ben. You own and operate a cake shop. You got to make cakes for all types of people. You can't discriminate against black people who walk through that door and say, oh, well, our religion is actually against us making cakes for black people. You're not going to get away with that shit, so you shouldn't be able to get away with it when it comes to gay individuals either.
So they've always used religion to justify horrible things. Slavery, we always make that point. And people say, well, it's just my opinion. No, ignorance, and I like to say this, ignorance is not an opinion. Ignorance is just ignorance. And that's all that said. They're using whatever, you're grasping at straws to justify discrimination against someone else and bigotry. That's all that is. And, I'll call it out for whenever we see it. But it's saying it's, like Cool Hand Luke said, saying it's your job, don't make it right. Saying it's your religion, don't make it right. Some people's religions say it's okay to beat women.
Yeah.
Right?
Writing a torture memo, don't make it right.
That's writing it. Yeah. That's exactly right.
It applies the same standard. It's one of the amazing things when you study American history is that, Congress, the Supreme Court, in approving the Civil Rights Act of 1964, like maybe the most historic, important piece of legislation we had in the 20th century in America, just about, certainly top 10. Top 5, by the way, Chris Rock's movie, out Friday. The Civil Rights Act, Congress approved it not because it was right. Congress approved it based on the Interstate Commerce Clause. That you can't prevent people from eating in restaurants because somebody in Tennessee is going to be driving through Kentucky, and if they cross state lines, then they're the federal government's responsibility, and you got to be able to eat it and stay at whatever restaurant you want. That's how they got it passed. They probably wouldn't use it to do that today, but that's how they got it passed then. Here's the deal. If you want to have a cake shop and you want to not have your cake served to gay people because it's your religion, that's great. And I would say you're allowed to do that. And you don't get one tax break. You don't get anything.
Yeah.
You have to do everything that the tax is required. You have to pay Social Security for your employees. You have to pay for yourself. You don't get any small business break. You don't get anything. You're essentially operating a private club. And you want to operate a private club. You want to sell cakes out of your house, right, and not run a business? fine, go ahead. You don't have to serve gay people. You get to do it at your house. This is America. But you're going to run a business. You're going to interact with other businesses. You're going to be part of the Chamber of Commerce. You're going to put your shop on Main Street next to other shops where everybody gets to walk on the sidewalk. You got to let everybody in.
Yep.
That's it. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, when is it going to end, right? And also, I hate the wording of laws like this or pieces of legislation like this. Freedom of religion. We have freedom of religion. When are we going to live in a day and age where we have freedom from religion, right? A day and age where someone's religion is not going to be forced upon me in, certain laws that are being proposed and pieces of legislation that I disagree with. When are we going to come to that age, right? I want people to practice whatever religion they want. I don't want their religion to be forced upon me, and it happens on a regular basis. So many of our laws are influenced by religious beliefs.